how are you? In today's video, we're going to go over a fun project I made using woven D-ring belts. I grabbed a pack used from Mercari, but you can also buy them from Temu for a few dollars each, or Amazon sells a 12 and 26 pack in various colors. You could also keep your eyes open at thrift stores or yard sales or things of that nature. I started by deciding how long I wanted my finished item, and we're going to call this a ladder net. And I added a few inches so that I could roll the ends under and hide the raw edges. Then I seam ripped the ends with the rings. Each belt has 2 rings, and I wanted one on each corner. This wasn't too hard. Ripped the stitches out and took off one ring, set aside, folded the end under and pin in place. Make sure to tuck the raw edges in. Then use the rings that you set aside to make the hanger on the other end of your long strap. Place the ring on the belt, fold the end, then fold one more time, making sure to tuck threads in if there are any, and pin in place. Then repeat on the other long belt. These 2 belts will become your long side pieces for the ladder net, and your rungs will span across them horizontally. Next, I decided how far apart I wanted my rungs. I originally tried to make it wider, but my straps are pre-cut to a specific length, and I wanted them halved, so I placed the 2 lengthwise belts about 6 inches apart. Originally, I had folded each end under and pinned, and then placed the strap, and then moved the pins to hold everything in place. But I realized fairly quick that that was going to be a few extra steps, and to make my life easier, I switched to laying the rung piece on each long strap, then folded the ends under and pinned. I repeated this down the length of the belts, placing the rungs about 2 inches apart. I started out measuring exactly 2 inches, but then I got bored and swapped to just eyeballing it. Near the end of the process, I realized I wanted my tan and olive straps to alternate, so I swapped a few to allow for that. Next, we take the project to the sewing machine. I used a zigzag stitch for my first row of stitching to really secure the raw edge that is tucked under. And then I continued sewing around the overlapped area to form a box shape. I sewed around the end of each rung along one long side. Flip the project around and repeat the process on the other side. Lastly, I sewed the ends holding the D-rings into place. I tie all of my ends typically, but you can also tuck them inside the sewing project by threading them through a hand sewing needle, poking that through the layers, bring them up and pull tight, then clip close to the belt fabric. This buries your ends in the material. You can also backstitch and clip close to the fabric, but I have had my stitches come out eventually with washing and use when I use that method. So I personally tie a knot very close to the edge of the fabric and clip off the excess for all of my sewing projects instead. Whatever method you choose to remove your thread tails, repeat across the whole item. And then your ladder net is done. I love that this functions as both a ladder and a net. It works the rat's bodies a bit differently than a ladder and is a great fall breaker as well, just like a net. You could make this wider by making it have 3 or more long pieces and cutting your rungs to span across them, or shorter to fit in a quarantine cage. It's completely customizable to your specific setting and needs. And since it's soft and floppy, you can fold or roll it up for storage. And it's machine washable and dryable too. Thanks for watching. Bye!